It's the first win since April 2022 for Nasa Hataoka. Completed the 54 holes at 15 under par alongside
November 9th, 2025. The final round of the Toto Japan Classic was cancelled, and Miyu Yamashita, Nasa Hataoka, and Yuna Nishimura were at the center of the most controversial decision in women's golf this season. Yamashita was one shot behind with 18 holes to play, chasing her third straight victory as the hottest player on tour, and the LPGA just cancelled Sunday. No final round, no chance to chase, no opportunity to make history on home soil in front of thousands of fans. And what happened next ignited a debate that's still raging. 10:57 a.m. local time, Sunday morning in Japan. Less than an hour into the final round, the announcement came. The final round of play at the Toto Japan Classic was suspended due to unplayable course conditions. And just like that, Miyu Yamashita's chance at 3 consecutive wins vanished. Not postponed, not delayed until Monday. Cancelled. The tournament was shortened to 54 holes, and the leaders went straight to a playoff. Here's where it gets absolutely insane. Yamashita was one shot behind the leaders. After 3 rounds, the leaderboard looked like this. Nasa Hataoka tied at -1.5, Yuna Nishimura tied at -1.5, and Miyu Yamashita sitting at -1.4. One shot back with 18 holes still to play. And this wasn't just any player sitting one shot behind. 6 days earlier at the Maybank Championship, Yamashita pulled off one of the most improbable comebacks in LPGA history. 8 shots behind with 18 holes to play, she erased that entire deficit and won the tournament. Think about that for a second. This is a player who had just proven she could overcome an 8-shot deficit in a single round. Now, she was one shot back, and they canceled her opportunity before she even got started. The weather that morning was bad, no question. Rain, cold temperatures, wet conditions. But here's what makes this decision so controversial. At Maybank, just 1 week earlier, Yamashita played through 2 separate weather delays. Thunder, lightning, heavy rain. One delay lasted over an hour. There was even a delay during the playoff itself. Yet they finished that tournament. But at Toto Japan Classic, one morning of rain, and they shut it down completely. The playoff itself adds another layer to this controversy. They didn't even play the full 18th hole. The LPGA shortened it to a par 3 version because of course conditions. So let me get this straight. The course was too wet for 18 full holes of golf. But it was playable enough for a shortened par 3 playoff hole. Hataoka made par on the playoff hole, Nishimura didn't. Tournament over. Nasa Hataoka wins her first LPGA title since April 2022, ending a 3-year winless drought. But for Miyu Yamashita, heartbreak. She came into Sunday with momentum that was borderline supernatural. After her round on Saturday, she'd said her putter had been bringing her good rounds for 2 straight weeks. Unconscious on the greens, confidence sky high, playing on home soil with thousands of Japanese fans wearing jerseys and cheering her name. And then rain, cancellation. No Sunday, no chance. The cancellation ended more than just the tournament. It killed Yamashita's chance at 3 straight wins. US Women's Open in August, Maybank Championship last week, Toto Japan Classic this week. Only a handful of players in LPGA history have won 3 consecutive tournaments, especially as a rookie. This wasn't just any tournament for her. This was home soil, Japan. Thousands of fans came specifically to watch Miyu chase glory. They wanted to see if the Maybank magic could happen again. Instead, they got a rain delay, a cancellation announcement, and nothing. The final results? Nasa Hataoka wins the playoff, Yuna Nishimura finishes second, Miyu Yamashita finishes third at -1.4, one shot out of the playoff. One canceled round away from potentially winning her 3rd straight title. Now here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Was the course really that unplayable? Or did the LPGA just not want to wait? Let's talk about what this cancellation actually cost Miyu Yamashita. First, the historic achievement. 3 consecutive LPGA victories as a rookie. Since the LPGA's modern era began, only a select few players have managed to win 3 straight tournaments. Annika Sorenstam did it, Lorena Ochoa did it, Inbee Park did it. These are Hall of Fame careers. And Yamashita was 1 round away from joining that list in her rookie season. Second, Player of the Year implications. Yamashita was already in the conversation after her major championship win, but she needed momentum down the stretch. Every win matters in that race. A third consecutive victory would have made her impossible to ignore in the voting. Instead, she finishes third. Good, but not historic. And here's the brutal financial reality. The CME Group Tour Championship is coming up with a $4 million first prize. To win CME, you need momentum, confidence, and belief that you're the best player in the world. Winning 3 straight gives you that. Finishing third after a canceled round, that plants doubt. Now let's talk about what this moment meant specifically because it was in Japan. Home soil. Thousands of fans bought tickets specifically to watch Miyu chase history. They wanted to witness greatness. The LPGA is trying to grow the game in Asia. And what sells that better than a local hero chasing history? Nothing. A Yamashita victory on Sunday would have been front-page news across Japan. It would have driven interest in women's golf through the roof. Instead, fans got a cancellation. The LPGA had a golden opportunity to create a moment that would resonate across an entire country, and weather, or scheduling decisions, or something, killed it. Here's another angle nobody's talking about: the validation factor. After Maybank, there were doubters. The narrative from some corners was that Yamashita got lucky, that the leaders choked. A third straight win would have silenced every single one of those voices. But now, the doubters get to keep doubting. Let's compare this to Maybank for a second. At Maybank last week, the weather was objectively worse. Thunder, lightning, multiple delays. But you know what the LPGA did? They waited. They found a way to finish 72 holes and complete the tournament properly. But at Toto Japan, one morning of rain and they shortened it to 54 holes. No delay until Monday, just canceled. Would you have made that call? You have the hottest player in women's golf sitting one shot behind on home soil with thousands of fans wanting to see her chase history. You have the precedent from Maybank 1 week earlier where you waited out weather delays. Do you really cancel that final round after less than an hour? The LPGA chose option A. And you can't deny the optics. You can't deny who benefited and who got hurt. Nasa Hataoka benefited. She didn't have to grind through 18 holes protecting that lead against Yamashita. She didn't have to deal with 4 hours of pressure. Instead, straight to a playoff. 1 hole. Make par. Win the tournament. The ultimate question is this: did Miyu Yamashita lose the Toto Japan Classic, or was she never given the chance to compete for it? To understand why this cancellation hurts so much, you need to understand who Miyu Yamashita is and what her 2025 season has been. She's 22 years old, a rookie on the LPGA Tour, and she's already a major champion. In August, at Lancaster Country Club, Yamashita won the U.S. Women's Open. That victory immediately established her as one of the game's rising stars. Major champion as a rookie, that's Annika Sorenstam territory, but major championships are one thing. Consistent winning is another. So when Yamashita went months without winning after the U.S. Women's Open, some people wondered if that was her career highlight. Then came the Maybank Championship, November 1st through 3rd, 2025. After 3 rounds, Yamashita was 8 shots behind the leaders. That's basically out of it. Almost no one comes back from 8 shots with 1 round to play. Except Yamashita didn't care about the odds. She went out on Sunday and played unconscious golf, birdie after birdie. The putter was working, and while she was going low, the leaders were struggling. She erased 8 full shots in 1 round and forced a playoff. The playoff itself had weather delays, thunder, lightning. They had to wait. But when they finally played, Yamashita won. She completed one of the most improbable comebacks in LPGA history. The golf world took notice. This wasn't luck. This was a player hitting her absolute peak. Then came the Toto Japan Classic. Home soil. The perfect setup for another magical moment. Round 1, she shot 65 and co-led the tournament. Round 2, she stayed in contention. Round 3, Saturday, she positioned herself perfectly at -1-4, 1 shot behind the co-leaders. Saturday night, the stage was set. Thousands of Japanese fans were buzzing. Sunday's final round was going to be electric. Yamashita chasing history. Hataoka trying to end a 3-year winless drought. Multiple storylines, high stakes, and the hottest player in golf sitting 1 shot back. Now let's talk about Nasa Hataoka. 6 LPGA wins, major champion, but she hadn't won since April 2022, 3.5 years without a victory. The pressure of a winless drought that long is crushing. So when she co-led after 54 holes, this was her opportunity. The contrast between Hataoka and Yamashita made Sunday's cancellation even more complex. You had a veteran desperate to end a drought, and you had a rookie chasing history. Both deserve their moment. But the cancellation favored one significantly more than the other. Here's the comparison that stings. Maybank, 1 week earlier, worse weather. Yet, they completed 72 holes. They found a way. They waited. That set a precedent. So when Toto Japan got cancelled after less than an hour of rain, it felt inconsistent. Especially when the player hurt most was someone who had proven 6 days earlier she could overcome any deficit if given the chance. Now, let's dig into the uncomfortable questions nobody wants to ask. First question, could they have postponed to Monday? The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Tournaments get pushed to Monday all the time. It's standard operating procedure when Sunday weather makes play impossible. You don't just cancel, you reschedule. So why didn't that happen at Toto Japan? Was it scheduling conflicts? Broadcast agreements? Course availability? All legitimate concerns? But none of them should outweigh competitive fairness when someone is one shot behind chasing history. Here's what we know. The announcement came at 10:57 a.m. Sunday morning, less than an hour into the final round. That's remarkably quick. Professional golf tournaments deal with weather delays all the time, and they usually try everything possible before making cancellation decisions. The fact that they called it so quickly raises questions, and nobody connected these dots until now. But look at the timing. The CME Group Tour Championship was coming up. Players needed to travel. The LPGA had another event to prepare for. Postponing to Monday creates cascading complications. It's messy, it's expensive. You know what's easier? Just shorten it to 54 holes and send everyone home Sunday afternoon. The path of least resistance was canceling Sunday, not postponing it. And when the easiest decision also happens to benefit leaders and hurt chasers, you have to acknowledge that's convenient. Second question, was the course really unplayable, or was it just uncomfortable? There's a huge difference. Unplayable means dangerous. Standing water everywhere. Uncomfortable means cold, wet, difficult, but still golf. And from everything we saw, Toto Japan on Sunday morning looked uncomfortable, not unplayable. Professional golfers play in these conditions all the time. The British Open regularly features rain, wind, and cold. The LPGA itself had just finished Maybank through worse weather 1 week earlier. So what made Toto Japan's rain special? Here's the part that proves it wasn't truly unplayable. They played a playoff. After canceling the final round due to course conditions, they then played golf for the championship. Either conditions allow for fair competition, or they don't. You can't say it's too wet for a final round, but perfectly fine for a playoff. If the course was playable enough for a playoff hole, it was playable enough to at least attempt starting the final round. Instead, they went straight to cancellation and playoff. Fast, clean, convenient. Third question, did the cancellation favor certain players? Yes. Unquestionably yes. Leaders benefited enormously from Sunday being canceled. When you're leading after 54 holes, a canceled final round locks in your advantage. You don't have to protect your lead for 18 holes. You get to skip the hardest part of winning and go straight to a playoff. For Hataoka, that was massive. She hadn't won in 3 years. The pressure she would have felt trying to protect a co-lead through 18 holes would have been crushing. But the cancellation eliminated that entire scenario. She went from grind through a pressure-packed final round to make par on 1 hole. Now flip to Yamashita's perspective. She was 1 shot behind, with proven ability to make up deficits. 8 shots at Maybank 1 week earlier. Give her 18 holes. She's incredibly dangerous. Her putter was unconscious. Her confidence was sky high. All the intangibles were in her favor. The only thing she needed was opportunity. The cancellation took that away completely. Instead of 18 holes to make up 1 shot, she got 0 holes. Tournament over. She finishes 3rd with no chance to change the outcome. Would Yamashita have won if Sunday had been played? We'll never know. Maybe Hataoka plays lights out and wins anyway. But we'll never know because the opportunity to find out was canceled. And that's the tragedy here. Not that Yamashita definitely would have won, but that she never got the chance to try. Fourth question. Were there external pressures influencing the decision? Professional golf is a business. The LPGA has sponsors, broadcast partners, travel schedules, and logistical commitments. Postponing to Monday creates problems. Players miss flights. Broadcast networks have to rearrange schedules. Shortening to 54 holes and finishing Sunday afternoon? Clean. Simple. Everyone goes home on time. When you're choosing between the difficult option and the easy option, human nature tends toward easy, especially when the easy option can be justified with course conditions were unplayable. Here's what nobody's talking about. 3 weeks later, sources indicated that several players actually wanted to play Monday if needed. They were willing to stay, but that information didn't come out until after the decision was made. By then, it was too late. The Toto Japan Classic cancellation wasn't just about weather. It was about convenience, logistics, business pressures, and the path of least resistance. The rain gave them cover to make a decision that was easier for everyone involved. Except Miyu Yamashita. The Toto Japan Classic cancellation didn't just affect Yamashita's weekend. The ripples are still spreading. Let's start with Player of the Year voting. Yamashita entered with real momentum, major champion, multiple wins. But Player of the Year isn't just about stats, it's about narrative. 3 consecutive wins would have made Yamashita impossible to ignore. Instead, she finishes third. The gap between those two outcomes is massive in terms of voting perception. The financial implications extend beyond just that week's prize money. Endorsement deals are watching, equipment sponsors are evaluating, and all of those numbers go up dramatically when you're winning 3 straight versus finishing third. The cancellation cost Yamashita potentially millions in future earnings. Now let's talk about the LPGA's growth in Asia. The tour has been aggressively expanding in Asian markets, building fan bases, creating local heroes. And nothing accelerates that growth better than local stars winning on home soil. Yamashita winning 3 straight with the final victory coming in Japan, front page news across the country, lead story on every sports broadcast, millions of casual fans suddenly paying attention. That's transformative growth for the sport. Instead, the LPGA had that golden opportunity and missed it. Japanese media covered the cancellation with confusion and disappointment. Fans who bought tickets for Sunday felt cheated. Social media was filled with questions. Why didn't they wait? Why didn't they postpone to Monday? Those questions don't help grow the sport. Here's another ripple effect. The was Maybank luck? Narrative. Coming back from 8 shots is so rare that some people assume she got fortunate. A 3rd straight win would have killed that narrative permanently. But now, the doubters get to keep doubting, and it will continue until she proves herself again. The CME Group Tour Championship implications are massive. That's a $4 million first prize. To win it, you need absolute confidence. Winning 3 straight gives you that. Finishing third after a canceled final round? That plants just enough doubt. That difference might be the gap between winning $4 million and finishing top 10. Other players were affected too. Yuna Nishimura finished second in the playoff. She's 20 years old, rising star. If Sunday had been played, maybe she wins. We'll never know. But she deserved the chance to find out over 18 holes, not 1 playoff hole. And here's something that should concern the LPGA long term: the precedent this sets. What happens next time someone is 1 shot behind chasing history and Sunday weather is questionable? Does the LPGA postpone to Monday? Or do they look at Toto Japan 2025 and say, we shortened it then, we can shorten it now? The standard has been set. Leaders get protected. Chasers lose opportunities. And rain becomes the excuse. That's dangerous for the integrity of competition. The broader golf world is watching too. This wasn't some obscure event. This was a player chasing 3 straight wins on home soil. This was a historic moment getting canceled. And the decision-making process looked, at best, rushed, and at worst, convenient rather than fair. Tour veterans privately questioned the call. Why so quick? Why not wait like Maybank? Why not postpone to Monday? Those questions were asked behind closed doors, but the answers haven't been satisfactory. Course conditions doesn't explain why a playoff was playable, but a final round wasn't. For Yamashita personally, this moment will define part of her career narrative. Years from now, when people talk about her 2025 season, they'll mention the US. Women's Open win, the Maybank comeback, and then they'll say, and she almost won 3 straight, but the final round at Toto Japan got canceled. That almost stings. That but stings. She deserved better than having her potential historic achievement reduced to a footnote about weather. So here's where we land. November 9th, 2025. 1 shot behind. The hottest player in women's golf. Fresh off a historic 8-shot comeback. Playing on home soil with thousands of fans. The stage set for another miracle. And then rain, cancellation, and no chance to chase. Nasa Hataoka won the Toto Japan Classic. She earned it within the rules given. 3 years without winning, and she finally broke through. That's genuinely beautiful, and nobody should take that away from her. But Miyu Yamashita? She's left with heartbreak and what-ifs. Did weather rob her, or did LPGA scheduling decisions? The answer probably lies somewhere in between. But one thing's undeniable. She deserved the chance to play Sunday. She earned that chance by being one shot back, and that chance was taken away. Personally, I think the LPGA made the convenient choice, not necessarily the fair choice. Maybank proved they could wait out weather, Toto Japan proved they'd rather not deal with the hassle, and the player who paid the price was someone chasing history. So here's my question for you. Was the cancellation justified? Should they have postponed to Monday? Did Miyu get robbed? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate isn't ending anytime soon. If you want to see how this affects the CME Group Tour Championship and whether Yamashita can bounce back, hit that subscribe button. The season finale is coming up and $4 million is on the line. You won't want to miss what happens next. The Toto Japan Classic is over, but the debate about what could have been, that's just beginning. And somewhere, Miyu Yamashita is still wondering what Sunday would have looked like. We all are.